All right, it's about 5 minutes to 4. I'm not expecting too much of a change. On the daily, you got a very strong bar on the S&P 500. The momentum is looking positive, but we could argue that that's a divergence. So if it on Monday breaks below that low, it'll trigger that divergence, and we could look for some bearish trades. Otherwise, you can just look for the break of the high. This really can't give you any targets because we're making all new highs. On the weekly, we're still working on that divergence right here, that weekly divergence. So it's going to have to pull that momentum up and keep pounding. But that's a pretty bullish looking bar. So I'm going to say bullish on the S&P 500, but watching the divergences. And then we go to purple, another meme stock. And you could tell by the price action that it's a meme stock. But weekly, the momentum is bearish, and it seems like it's in a downtrend. So really nothing too enticing right there. So I have no interest in any trades, really no good setups. On the daily, I got to say the momentum's neutral. It's consolidating. You just got to let this thing work out. Tilray is another meme situation. And I mean, while it's in this channel, it's just consolidating. I wouldn't get involved until it broke out of the channel one way or the other. I'm betting that the weekly channel looks relatively the same when we roll it over. Yep, there it is. There it is. Weekly channel. So you could just wait for that channel. If it breaks either way, I mean, you got a short to the downside and a long to the upside. I really doubt that it's going to retrace this tail. Take a look at the VIX, and you can see the spike in volatility right here. That was the March-April era, and now it's just trading off. People are gaining confidence in the market. You know, it's slowly making lower lows and lower highs, and I mean that's going to just be contrary to what the indexes are. I mean, obviously, if the market's moving up, everybody's not so nervous. Market's moving down, people get nervous. So you could kind of say it's in a channel on the daily, but I don't see any setups there. I don't see anything to take interest in. This is the Russell, the IWM. The Russell probably, well, no, you know what? I'm sure the pattern's a little different than the S&P, and it is on the daily. I mean, you could argue that you're in a daily consolidation, or even a pennant. I mean, yeah, you know, these are swing trades. This isn't, you know, for day trading. But you could watch this pennant and take the breakout to the upside or the downside. Momentum is neutral, so anybody's guess, basically. Let's take a look at the weeklies. I think you could argue the same pennant in the weekly. So, but the momentum looks a little more bullish on the weekly. So, if you get that break to the upside, it being a weekly, I think you'll get a nice long move. And the QQQs to track the NASDAQ. Roll over, baby. Markets are closing up pretty nicely today. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. That just, I mean, you can see this divergence here on the weeklies. I would tread lightly. Yeah, you know, it's obviously bullish, and that's okay, and we'll let it run. No big deal. But as far as a swing trade, I'm not looking at any lows, not with this momentum tapering back on the weeklies. You have pretty good momentum on the daily. Although this is creating a divergence right there. And I don't know, I'm starting to feel a pullback in the markets for next week. Let's look at Bitcoin. bit. There you go. Got a bullish momentum on the daily. You just really want to wait for this break up here. I think we've talked about it 3 or 4 days in a row already. But yeah, you know, once it breaks up here, you can consider going long in Bitcoin. Bitcoin. There's nothing encouraging on the weeklies. And these are the futures I'm looking at. And then, oh, your favorite and mine, AMC. Oh, look at that. Broke out of that channel to the downside. Made a strong bar back up and consolidated today, which is fine. That's pretty good. I don't really see that the daily momentum is turning. I thought it was going to turn based on yesterday's move, but today looks pretty aggressive as far as momentum to the downside. So, I mean, the problem now is that really you should consider this your channel. And now a wider channel, harder for a breakout. You know, when those channels are narrow, then they pose a good breakout. But a wider channel, kind of rough. But I'm suspecting that we're going to get back up to 52, 59 or so, and then maybe bounce around in the center of that channel. And you know, we might bounce around in this consolidation pattern for quite some time. So you might find trading opportunities within that, but there are much better things to trade. I mean, if you're holding this for the squeeze, it doesn't make sense to find trading opportunities. But now you have a big wide channel, and you have to break out of that big wide channel. That's just adds to the challenge. But breaking that channel, I mean, if it breaks to the downside, you could take a short. Breaks to the upside, you go long. That's simple. You can watch the mid-range, and then as it breaks the mid-range, which is about 52 to 59, you could trade it up to the upper range and then just see if it continues that momentum and about to break out. So if you had to take a long, I would probably wait until it breaks that 52, 59 area, and I would go long right around there. And on a weekly, that's just, you can't really, that tells me nothing. I mean, you know, the momentum's rolling over, but this is an oscillator, and it's going to work its way back to zero anyway. So so there's no news on the daily on AMC, but that's the wrap for the week. I hope everybody made some money this week. If you were trading with me in my trading room, you definitely had a phenomenal week. I know I had a really good week. A lot of the guys who I work with or trade with have told me that they did well through the chat and things like that. So yeah, it was good, profitable week, and nice because it was a nice short week. But I appreciate everybody stopping in. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe and hit the bell. All your comments are welcome. It helps me figure out which way to go with this channel. I mean, I'm a trader, I'm not a YouTuber, so any guidance would be greatly appreciated. So once again, hit the bell, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and have a good weekend.